Hello and welcome to the Herald Review Newsroom. I'm Pascal Albright, Journalist Product Manager for the Sierra Vista Herald Review, and these conversations are brought to you by Neighbor, our neighborhood alliance for better understanding and respect. To find out more, visit neighbor.myheraldreview.com. That's nabur.myheraldreview.com. Hi, I'm here with Bruce Whetten today, our sports editor and Douglas reporter. Hi Bruce, how are you?
Fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful, thank you. Why don't you tell us generally what you cover, how long you've covered it, and what makes it interesting?
Well, I cover news in the Douglas area and the Alfreda area, and then of course, as my title says, I'm now the Cochise County sports editor. What many of you don't know was this started out as a temporary position. In January of '86, I was brought to the then Douglas Dispatch to fill in for the sports editor who was on maternity leave. When she came back, I was either going to be let go or reassigned. 36 years later, I'm still there, and needless to say, I've seen a lot of changes. So I've covered a lot of sports, covered a lot of news over my years, and thoroughly enjoy getting out and sharing the facts and sharing the news and bringing it to our readers.
What makes covering sports exciting for you?
Being a jock itself, and playing the game, and as a kid, being around the game all my life was fun. And but now, since I'm too old to play, I can still stay involved. And probably one of the biggest thrills I get is when I go talk at career days, and I talk to the youth, and I say, "How many of you like football?" And they all raise their hands. How many like baseball? And they raise their hands. I said, "I get paid to go watch football and baseball," and watching those jaws just drop. And then, of course, the questions come. Have you gone here? Have you done this? And it's like, usually the answers are yes. Yes, I've attended that Diamondbacks game. Yes, I've interviewed several of the key players of the Diamondbacks and covered some hard news stories. So covering sports has been a dream. And this past year, as a Cochise County sports editor for the Herald Review, this has been a season like I've never experienced before. We've had perfect games. We've had no-hitters. We've had a 2,000-yard passer, 4 1,000-yard rushers. We have so many amazing athletes in Cochise County that I'm just blown away by the talent level that's down here, that when I was covering Douglas, I knew it was there, but not to the extent where now I'm seeing it now. I mean, just last night we had a perfect game again, our third this season, and it gives us 8 perfect game no-hitters this year compared to last year, all of 1. And then to make things even better, we had a baseball team at Cochise College who knocked off the then #1 ranked team in the nation on Tuesday. And so just been some amazing performances this year.
You kind of cover all kinds of sports. What's some of the tougher sports that you have to cover?
You know what? I was thinking about that when you kind of insinuated that question was coming my way. There really isn't one. Because like I said, you know, I mean, I've been around them all now for over 30 years. I know how to cover golf. I know how to shoot golf. I know how to cover wrestling. I know how to shoot it. Of course, my first and foremost forever love will be football, followed by rodeo and then baseball. So, you know, maybe if there is a difficult one, it's pickleball or some of these other new and upcoming sports. I mean, you know, I don't know much about those sports, but I'm willing to learn and willing to go out and shoot and get to know about them better. So there really isn't one unless it's one of the newer sports that's coming of age.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, it's good that you're always learning. I know part of your job is working on the Best of Preps. Do you care to explain what that is and why it's important for us?
The Best of Preps recognizes the best athletes in Cochise County. And as I just said a few minutes ago, we have some amazing talent down here. And this year, I'm just blown away. I mean, I would not have dreamed coming into spring season if you'd have said we'd have 7 to 8 no-hitters, 7 to 8 no-hitters, perfect game combinations. And then, of course, seeing the talent that we saw in football. We were in Benson back in November for a state playoff game between the Benson Bobcats and the St. John's Redskins. And Devin Bowling, a running back for Benson, was 25 yards away from tying the school record. And one particular play, a gap was there, and he found the hole. And as he's running up the sidelines, and he ran right by me, he kicked his mouthpiece out of his mouth and smiled at me as he ran by. And I'm thinking, that guy just knew he broke the record. He just knew it. So when the game was over, I asked him, I said, "Did you know that run you broke the record?" He says, "Yeah." He said, "I almost gave you a thumbs up, but I thought that'd be overdoing it." You know, and so what's exciting even more is our guest speaker, James Lofton's coming down, Hall of Famer, Super Bowl participant with Jim Kelly. Anybody that knows me knows I'm a diehard Raider fan. Played for my Raiders, played for Jennifer's Packers. And so she's excited, Bruce is excited, and we're all excited to have him as our guest speaker. But what I'm more excited about is parading our athletes in front of him. Letting this Hall of Famer hear about our 2,000-yard passer, our 4 1,000-yard rushers, the girl basketball player who scored 45 points in a game, or the outstanding pitchers that we have, and even the outstanding athletes in other sports. As I've said before, we have some amazing talent here, and this is a chance to recognize the best, all the athletes, and then we're going to recognize the best ones. So we're going to have individual sport winners for football, basketball, baseball, and so forth, and then we're going to pick an overall Cochise County Player of the Year for the male and female division. And I'll tell you right now, seniors, watch out, because we got some freshmen that are making an impact here.
Okay.
Of the perfect games we've had so far, there's one freshman who's been involved in 3 of those.
Oh, that's exciting.
And so it is exciting, because I hope I'm still around in 3 to 4 years when these kids are seniors and juniors to watch them grow and develop, because they're off to an incredible start right now. And so, like I said, getting the chance to brag about my kids, as I call them, and their accomplishments in front of a Hall of Famer that I respect, that evening's going to be magical. And it's going to be more magical this year, because in years past, I assisted the previous sports editor and administration here in doing this. And this year, I'm still assisting, but in a different capacity now, where I'm taking on more of a lead role, because I am the sports editor, and I can actually have a better firsthand knowledge of what these athletes did during the season and what they accomplished to make sure we get the good, the right, and the best winner possible.
Oh, that's awesome. When is the evening?
Thursday, June 9th at Buena Performing Arts.
To kind of move forward, are there any memorable moments in your long time here that you want to kind of shout out?
Well, 36 years, that question was also, there's a lot there, but one that stands out in the news-wise, I interviewed the presidential candidate, Ted Cruz, when he came to Douglas several years ago when he was running against Donald Trump. He came out to an area outside of Douglas, and we actually shared the story with you guys. We were invited out along with other media, and it wasn't much of an interview. I got to ask him 5 questions, but I still got to interview the presidential candidate, Ted Cruz. So that, on the news side, that was probably one of the most memorable experiences. I've interviewed governors, senators, but a presidential candidate, had he won, I could have said I interviewed the next president.
Yeah. And
that was a thrill for me. And then the sports-wise, this season has been the memories, because again, of all the perfect games, I've been covering sports and around sports for over 40 years. Never had a season like what we experienced this year. This has been so magical, so memorable. So, if I were to walk away from this profession tomorrow, this past year would be probably the most memorable of my career, thinking of all the kids and the talent and the youth of the kids that are making these memorable moments for me. So, I applaud our youth, and I applaud the talent down here in Cochise County. And, we're a small county, but we're a very talented county as far as athletic-wise and as far as student-wise. And we have some really good people down here. I've got to know that too, because every community I've been to, and I've been to them all, San Simon to Douglas to Sierra Vista, they have been so welcoming as a Herald there, that they was, thank you for covering us kind of thing. And it's just been an awesome experience. And I can't thank Jennifer and Andrew enough for giving me this opportunity to fulfill this. When I first got offered the position, it was like, you got 5 minutes to think about it and give us a decision. And I was like, okay, let's try it in an interim. And they didn't want interim, they wanted a more serious commitment. And I'm so glad that I said yes, because this has been a ride that I didn't experience.
Oh, good. Well, we're glad to have you part of the team, and your coverage is just incredible. Everything that you do is good.
I'm having a blast. That's all I can say. And, as Bo Hall said, I feel like there are days where this is work, but I feel like there's days where it's not work. Mm-hmm. And as long as you can still have a passion after 30 years of doing the same thing, you come to my house and the TV's on with baseball or some kind, even lacrosse. Now I'm watching lacrosse, but at the same time, the TV's on, sports are on. So I may be not writing the game, but I'm still near the game in some capacity.
Well, thank you, Bruce, for another great conversation. And you can find more of his work at myheraldreview.com. This conversation and others are brought to us by Neighbor, our neighborhood alliance for better understanding and respect. You can visit nabur.myheraldreview.com for more conversations. Thank you so much, Bruce, and y'all have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.
Have a great afternoon.